Shalom. Call hello Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Kakwadash. Rakata Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Kakwadash. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. In the name of His Son Yahweh Shai. In the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. The apostles of all Israel. The men who have been set up through the Spirit of Yahweh. To teach this word and to wake up the remnant in the last day. And let me jump into a little Joel. I don't got nothing planned, but just through the Spirit, Yahweh willing, this is edifying. Shalom to those who listen in sincerity and truth, and teach in sincerity and truth. Those who try their best to cast their emotions to the side and make this about Yahweh. All right, Salakia. I was thinking of something else, but I'm back now. All right, Joel chapter 3. I'm gonna just flow in the Spirit. It says, Joel 3:1, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. And that bring again the captivity means to restore us, to turn our captivity back. And it says, I will also gather all the nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh's decisions, Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them for my people. Israel is the Lord's people, and for my heritage Israel, whom I have scattered among the nations, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So the Lord's people is Israel. When Israel was scattered, that's how we became Gentiles according to the New Testament. It says, it was 1 Corinthians 12, it said you were heathens led away by idols. That is talking to the Israelites who were scattered throughout the whole world. And we're going to get Hebrews 8:8 to hit home with that, because the second covenant, just like the first, was to Israel. It's precept Hebrews 8:7. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second covenant, for finding fault with them, with Israel, the same ones from Egypt, the descendants of Abraham's promised seed. Salaka, alright, and it says, then should no place have been sought for the second. So if the first covenant had been faultless, it would be no place sought for the second. It says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days cometh, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant. So this new covenant that's being made, that's being prepared, it says, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So the new covenant is for Israel, just like the first. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. So this second covenant is not going to be faultless. The Lord said he's going to write the Spirit, write his laws in our hearts. And our high priest, after the order of Melchizedek, is a high priest, not a carnal high priest, but a spiritual, eternal high priest. So, yeah, the second covenant is for Israel, just like the first. Just right there in Hebrews 8, it said the second covenant with them, with Israel. So we got to know, for the Bible not to have contradictions, them Gentiles are part of the second covenant only because they're scattered Israelites who are just like you people are Americanized. We all were Americanized before we woke up to this truth. So we were considered heathens because Antiochus may put out decrees, and we had a lot of rulers, but Antiochus was the main to pull out the decree that we couldn't serve Yahweh, we couldn't sacrifice, we couldn't speak Yahweh's name, no more circumcision and all that. They tried to make us follow the customs of the heathens, and it was punishable by death. So most people were scared and converted. So we were considered Israelites because I mean, we were considered heathens because we didn't keep the order of Yahweh no more. We didn't, like it said, a people that are not my people, and that's just because we were not under our order, our perfect order anymore. So, all right, yeah. And this is back in Joel 3:3. So this is talking about all the nations Yahweh was going to gather and plead with them for his people's sake in the valley of Jehoshaphat. A little Google search, you can look that up and see that's dried up, and that's also prophecy, and the nations are being gathered there. So the Lord can plead for his people's sake, for Israel's sake. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And that's the auctioning blocks in between the Arabs, the Africans, and the Edomites, selling us and profiting off of our misery. It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your head? So the Lord said, even if you try to give it all back, you still gotta go through what you gotta go through, man. You still gonna drink of this cup of the Lord. Lamentations 4. That cup of Yahweh is gonna be passed around, just like we drunk. We were created to drink of that cup, and we surely drunk of that cup. So these other nations are gonna drink down the dregs in the last little, the backwash and everything. They're gonna suck it on down, straight, no chaser. Thus say Yahweh, thus say the Bible. It says, because ye have taken, this verse 5, back in Joel, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Because they sacked Jerusalem and took the relics and you know, like the menorahs, all the holy relics that we had, they've been taken, man. The silver and gold, the Lord said it's his. The Lord said, you took my silver and my gold. In verse 6, it says, the children of Judah also, and as far as people wise, Israel is the Lord's gold and silver and choice silver. It says, gold is tried in fire, and acceptable men in a furnace of adversity. So we are the Lord's gold and precious gold and silver when you get to it on a manifold level, on a deeper level. I said the children also of Judah and the children of Israel have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and return your recompense upon your own head. And that is us being raised up is Ezekiel 37, and that recompense being placed on these other nations' head is, what is that, Jeremiah 30 and 30? We're going to look for that because, yeah, Jeremiah 30. Oh, nope, that's Jeremiah 30. (31 and 31), Salaka. Yeah, Jeremiah 31 and 31. It's the precepts, the Hebrews 8 and 8. Matter of fact, it's Deuteronomy, Salakia. Deuteronomy 30. And we're going to jump down to verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 30. Salaki about that. Akim Akwath. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Alright, so it says, verse 7 back in Joel 3 and 7, it says, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon their head. So, as far as Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones, we are being raised up, and the recompense will be returned to these nations. Man, these nations are going to be captive. Those who oppressed us shall be oppressed. And it's just as simple as that, man. All those who hated us are going to be smited by Yahweh. All these curses that was on us is going to be on our enemies. But it say in Genesis, it says, bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. So it's about time for them days and that saying to be played out too. In verse 8, now we're going to see what Yahweh say about slavery and the recompense. Whatsoever a man soweth, that also shall he reap. It says, Joel 3:8, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. So, you other nations are going to be sold. Thus say Yahweh. You're going to be sold, man. Yahweh said he's gathering these nations, and when he breaks y'all apart, y'all are going to be sold unto the nations, unto us. Y'all going to be our slaves, man. And that is the will of Yahweh. Put your emotions to the side and understand that it's not about you. You ain't nothing but the thing created. How you gonna tell the Lord that he don't know what he doing? The Lord know what he doing. Yahweh got this. It says, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, so a people fall off, for Yahweh have spoken it. So this is the recompense. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And this, the Gentiles right there is the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, not the Hellenized Israelites. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And you see, between Iran, Russia, China, and what's going on in the Middle East, it's prepped up. This thing is prepped up and revved up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords. And the plowshare is like a instrument for working in the field. So it's saying, instead of working, you gonna turn them tools into weapons, man. So it says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And the weak being made strong is these other nations getting the same nuclear capability as America and these superpowers, man. These other nations ain't playing. Iran and them, they actually being supported by Russia, and they got, how can I say, advanced military weapons. And they're gonna use them, man. These weapons are gonna be used. It says, let the weak say I'm strong. So these other nations who America used to bully, they not scared no more. They are saying they are strong. That's prophecy being fulfilled right before your eyes, man. This whole book. It's amazing. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen. Verse 1. Remember verse 1? Verse 2, it said, I will gather the heathen in the valley of Jehoshaphat. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. And the Lord's mighty ones are the angels. So the angels are going to take part in this too. The Lord's mighty ones are the angels, man. Believe that. It says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I set to judge all the heathen round about. All the heathen are going to be judged, man. The Lord is gathering them. Believe, pleading. This is all for Israel's sake and the Lord's name's sake, man. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. And in the book of Matthew, it says the angels are reapers. I can't remember what chapter it is, but the angels are the reapers, man. At the end of the world, it says the angels are the reapers. So the angels are going to put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So judgment is going to happen, man. Multitudes in the valley of decisions, man. The valley of Yahweh's Shabbat, Yahweh's judgment, Yahweh's decisions. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decisions, man. The day of Yahweh is near in the valley of Jehoshaphat. The sun and moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Because when these missiles shoot off, man, these skies are gonna be filled with missiles. Just like 300, it said we're fighting the shade, man, when them arrows was blocking out the sun. And the Lord also shall roar out of Zion. And actually, and also too, when the missiles hit, man, and that dust cloud and the nuclear storms and all that stuff that's gonna, man, this earth is gonna be riddled with missiles, man. It says the Lord also shall roar out of Zion. So the Spirit of the Lord is going to be in Zion. The roaring that Israel is going to do, that's going to be the roaring of Yahweh. And utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people, Israel, not the whole world, his people. We already determined that his heritage is Israel, his people is Israel, man. So the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So all our hope and our strength will be in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Just as the promises always have been. So shall ye know that I am Yahweh, your God. It says Yahweh, your God, man. Dwelling in Zion. So the Lord dwells in Zion, and Zion is a people before it's a place. Don't get it twisted. We are the temple as a people. So the Spirit of the Lord is dwelling in us. We are the Lord's tabernacle, man. That's how he's going to make us righteous. Because that Holy of Holies, we're going to be the Holy of Holies, man. The first veil, that second veil, that's going to be us, man. That's going to be just like walking inside. The second veil is going to be us opening our mouth and telling you the spirit of Yahweh, because it's going to be written in us. So we won't be able to go off. Everything we say and do will be through the Spirit of Yahweh. So the Lord your God dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. So the Lord's holy government is Zion. Then shall Jerusalem be holy. That's that second covenant. And there shall no stranger pass through her anymore. So you strangers, as in heathens, we're going to have nothing to do with this, man. All right, and we're going to read on, matter of fact. And it shall come to pass that in that day the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and the fountain shall come forth of the house of Yahweh. So we are the house of Yahweh. Like I said, that temple, that is Israel. All right, from the house of Yahweh, and shall water the valleys of Shittim. So Yahweh's spirit and power is going to keep us renewed and clean. Them waters, man. The water that you shall not thirst anymore. All right, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, which is not now, but it will be. And this is talking about America, the spiritual Egypt. It says, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, and for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. So, as far as up, down, left, and right, it don't really get no plainer than what you're reading. Put your motions to the side and read. It says, Edom shall be a desolation, a desolate wilderness, and Egypt shall be a desolation. Verse 20, but Judah, the Israelites, shall dwell forever in Jerusalem for generations to generations. So we don't got to worry about being forsaken and destroyed. But America and you Edomites actually do. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. For Yahweh dwelleth in Zion, man. The Lord dwells in Zion, in Israel. Their blood. It ain't talking about the land right now. It's talking about the people. It says their blood will he cleanse, because the Lord is going to cleanse our blood, and his spirit is going to dwell. We don't have to be malicious souls and can't sustain the spirit of the Lord. This is what we hope for, man. And I've been praying for my hope to be strong, and Yahweh willing, I endure to the end. And with that, I would like to say, call Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakwadash. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. In the name of the Son Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. And shalom, peace and blessing to all those who believe in truth and sincerity. Hold your head, it's almost over. Get out of that woe is me spirit. We got blessings coming. And the Lord is going to keep you humble with the woe is me. But you got to know that as far as the promises and the blessings, your brain can't begin to fathom. We wake up from this dream, it's going to be nothing. It seems like hell now, but it's going to be like a dream that passes away when you wake up in the kingdom. It's going to be nothing. The kingdom is going to be so glorious. What we're going through now, it's going to be like, damn, I was complaining and all this for this. It's like it's not going to compare. And with that, shalom. I hope this was edifying. Value how was your pot, man? How was decisions? It's almost over. Shalom.